Welcome to Generationally Wounded Movie Reviews. I'm Jen Wendy, and I am breaking down the signs, symptoms, and healings that some of the characters go through in your favorite movies and series. I'm doing this because when we watch movies, there's like this feeling that comes to us. We get drawn into these worlds and these lives, and a lot of it that we feel resonates in our own life. So if I start to share with you some of the signs and symptoms and healings of what the characters are going through in relation to like their ancestral wounds, maybe you're going to be able to start to notice what's going on in your life a little bit better. And well, it's also kind of fun. Today's movie is Harry Potter. So I'm going to name it Harry Potter and the Generationally Wounded. Now, Harry Potter is a pretty well-known classic tale of good versus evil. And I'm going to share with you three generational wounds that are very present in this series for Harry Potter's and his friends. The generational wound number one: pure blood magic versus mixed blood magic. So this is a very familiar type of topic. And Voldemort, the main evil guy, and his team want all pure bloods. And Harry Potter and his friends are like, it doesn't matter. So what is really interesting about this is that it goes back generations and generations, all the way towards Salazar Slytherin's house, where he started this whole thing. So this has been deeply ingrained into the magical community for generations. And what it has done to say the more bad side, like the Malfoys, it has inflated their confidence, inflated the confidence of sometimes the incompetent, although Voldemort is very competent as a wizard. And it's deflated the self-confidence and self-worth in some of the mixed magical, like Hermione, who is an incredible witch. And this is what this type of generational wound does. It eats at somebody's self-worth, and it truly creates an imbalance in confidence and feeling competent. And what I'm asking for you today, because we know how they heal it, is number one of the great examples of this is, of course, Harry Potter overcomes this and vanquishes Voldemort. But it's the Malfoys that truly start to see that it doesn't matter about what your magical race background is or what is there. It's about something else. And so that was one of the biggest healings that came through in terms of the generations, is that the Malfoys have like stopped being this like crazy family, or at least they're trying their best because they see the light. So what I want to ask you is, where in your life are you sort of holding on to a generational belief here, a belief that is maybe making you question your self-worth, or is inflating your self-worth compared to others? Okay, so that is the question from this generational wound in Harry Potter I want to ask you. Generational wound number two: going it alone. Harry Potter is always wanting to go it alone when it comes to going after the bad guys or trying stuff. And I mean, the obvious reasons is Harry Potter has felt alone his whole life. His family has been killed because of this. He's gotten no support of the Dursleys. So it's very clear that you can sort of see this as a childhood wound and a wound of his life now. But what has happened is that this wound of going it alone has been reinforced by the adults, the generations of the bunch. Mrs. Weasley sums it up really quite well when the Order of the Phoenix has started to be introduced to us, and she refuses for anybody to tell Harry what's going on because he's just a boy. Just a boy. So as he heals this, like he heals his going alone sort of wound over time, because he opens up to his friends helping him. He really does see the value of teamwork and how to work this. So he's constantly moving with this. it could have been done even more, and it's started to, Dumbledore sees it at the end, about communication and how communication between the generations is very, very important. Harry Potter is a very capable person, and so that notion, that generational wound, that children shouldn't be privy to certain information as adults, there's a fine line there. So the question that I'm asking you is where are you holding on to the generational notion of yourself, like, or your children, that, you know, feel that you should be, feel that you need to overprotect them, that, only information should be shared in certain ways. And of course, there's nuance to this. But where is that communication lacking, and how is that coming down through, like, sort of just the generational norms, if you will, that perhaps need to be broken? Generational wound number 3, the making of Voldemort. So this has ancestral trauma written all over it, from his entire background of his parents. So although Voldemort, as I said in generational wound number 1, is really only for pure blood, Voldemort doesn't come from a pure blood family. He actually comes from a mixed family. His mother was what comes from a wizarding family, and his father was a muggle, although he refuses to believe that was that way. He believes that his father was the wizard and his mother was the muggle because she died at childbirth, and he feels that wizards should be stronger than that. So although there's a lot of that type of drama, it goes back in time to his affluent family, his affluent muggle family that owned so much of the town and were really snobbish and off-putting, and didn't help anybody in the town. They really looked down upon it. So that he's come from generations of that. And his family was really good friends with another pure blood, if you will, wizarding family that thought that only wizarding families should get together, and they also really look down upon it. So he's come from generations and generations of people who have felt they were more powerful than others, and that has been passed down to him. He also has his own childhood wounds of not knowing the wizarding word until he was 11, just like Harry. But it's definitely a generational wound that he is continuing to put down. Also, his mother bewitched his father. And so there is something in those generations that feels that they can overpower people, not just on a regular basis, but with magic itself. So that is definitely a generational wound. And unfortunately for Voldemort, or for even all the that world, the Harry Potter world, is he chose not to heal that, or he chose that his healing was to condemn everyone, whereas Harry Potter's healing was to help and support everyone. And my question to you, in your generations and in your family history, is there something that you would like to heal? Or is there something that comes up, or that resonates for you that you would like to heal? It doesn't necessarily have to be as dramatic, because remember, this is a movie, so it doesn't have to be as deep as Voldemort's or as crushing as Voldemort's. But what have you seen or noticed in family patterns that you maybe are already breaking free of, or that maybe you would like to work on and heal a little bit more? And that concludes our Harry Potter section of Generationally Wounded movie reviews. If you have a movie that you would love for me to review in relation to the ancestral trauma that goes through, just share it in the comments below. And if you would like to dive deeper into what possibilities and generational wounds that you have or would love to heal, then check out my website at jenwendy.com. You can download your very free ancestral connection meditation, or check out booking a session or other events that I may have up to help support you.